Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Salami today. As you can see, we are looking at V Rising on Steam Deck. This game was in early access for a long time, and it's been a couple years actually, and they have finally gone into version 1.0. And with version 1.0, they've added controller support, and so that made me want to jump back in and check it out on Steam Deck. As you can see here, this game with a standard Proton layer has issues with its video playback, and so if you're going to do this, even experimental does not work to fix this issue. So my recommendation is to switch it over to GE, which I do later on in this video. So only thing you need to do is install GE Proton. If you're not sure how to do that, let me know. But generally, it's pretty easy. It's in my tips video guide, one of my previous videos. So if you're not sure, go have a look for that video and I show you how to install Proton GE. And with that, the video playback for the menus and that work perfectly. So the game itself is, let's do a little bit of backtracking and talk about what it is. So you're a vampire weakened after centuries of slumber, and you're on the hunt to regain your strength while hiding from the scorching sun to survive. It's kind of cool. You're a vampire, you kill stuff, you suck their blood, and you build a castle. It is a survival game, but it doesn't feel like a survival game. We'll jump forward here and have a look at some gameplay on Steam Deck. As you could see in the settings earlier, everything's like turned up to the max here. It is unfortunately using FSR 1, but I didn't turn it off. I left it on just to see what the quality of the video looks like, or the gameplay, and you can see it here. I'm doing something a bit different here. I'm not recording the FPS, and the reason for that is I think playing with the FPS on is detrimental to gaming in some respects. Yeah, it's good to know what your FPS is, to get to something solid, and that totally makes sense. But I feel like we get a little bit too carried away with watching that frame rate target. And so I decided to just do this recording without an FPS counter on, and just to see what people think of not using it, and just seeing the gameplay as is without it. You know what I mean? So you go, wow, that plays really well. Even if it is dropping under 30, you'll not, if this looks good, then it won't matter. Of course, this is just the beginning of the game, and once you start getting the big boss fights and later levels, I don't know what the complexity gets like, within the game world itself. So I don't want to, say, yeah, it runs perfectly now, and then in 20 hours it's completely different. But I just wanted to try it this way without the FPS counter on, and to get a feel for the game just naturally without it. And I'd love to know your thoughts below about doing it this way. As you can see, it's a isometric, hack and slash game with, crafting and survival stuff, building and all that. So you craft your weapon and you get items, and I'm crafting a ring right now, and there's like times on it. And so, it's very, not run of the mill, but very standard survival stuff. And you can tell that they've added the controller support, and it's pretty good. One thing I will say is they've had to make the sacrifice here with the right analog stick to be your aim, if that makes sense. So when you use spells and abilities, you aim them with the right stick, which means you lose camera control. So you're now holding Y and pulling left and right trigger to turn the camera. But I'm thinking, hear me out here, with Steam controller support, we could turn the back buttons like R4 and L4 into controllable to control the camera movement. I don't see why not. If you just set it up to be hold L plus left trigger, and you should be able to turn the camera with the back buttons, saving from having to hold Y and also pull the triggers. Just one less thing to do. So I haven't tried that yet, but that could be an option. But as you can see, it runs really well, and it actually looks pretty well. Turning off FSR 1 is something I'm going to try later on, but for now, like, it seems to be working really, really well as is. So this game's been, come out of early access. They're on update 1.0 right now, and they've added in a ton of new stuff, and even and they've had a free expansion, so there's definitely a lot going on. They've added in things like cargo travelers. What else have they added in here? They've got new world improvements, like they've added in new areas like the Farbane Woods, and they've added in, what else have they got here? Conflict zones, like PvP zones, I think. An in-game region that introduces dynamic conflict events to elevate your V-Rising experiment. Oh no, it's versus Dracula's Legion, so PvE. I've been playing this on a PvE server. I'm not sure how the server thing works. Like, you could pick a public one, like I picked an Australian one, but they're on a 6-month reset, and that to me is like not how I want to play my game. I picked it because I didn't know what else to do, unless I make my private server, because I don't really want to like have to restart in 6 months with my character. Like, that would really suck. I don't know whether they reset the whole lot or if they just reset the world because you can build your vampire castle anywhere in the world. Like, it means that the world gets filled up with random buildings. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by 6-month reset. Maybe I should do like a little bit more looking into that, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. But like, they've added in even like Castlevania stuff, like prepare for an epic encounter with Simon Belmont, the legendary vampire hunter. So I think you can run into him and do quests. They've changed them. They've done redone the Sorcery of Magic, because I played this way back when it went first into early access, and even then it was quite fun. I only put about 6 hours in its initial launch, and back then they did not have controller support, so I wasn't like me and my controller support is like something I always need in a game these days, and it really makes a difference. So yeah, and you go around and it's really cool because you like suck the blood of enemies, and like if you keep sucking the blood of the same type of enemy, you can get more and more buffs from them. So like, I've noticed bears are quite a good one, because if you can get it up to a higher rank, you get like health regen and stuff, which is really cool. Where if you do feasts on humans, you get other things, and then if you do it on different ones, but then you can also use that blood to heal yourself. So it's kind of like a give-take reward. And then you've also got the Suntime, like during the day, like the sun's actually have to like jump between the shadow of the forests and not like burn. As you'll see here, I'll start burning up instantly. I'm like, oh, I'll just run down here. As you can see, there's like that little bit of light, and I'm like, do, and all of a sudden, like, the ray of sun starts coming down and cooking me like a crisp. So it's really like it is actually quite a fun game, and if you have bought it in early access and haven't touched it since then, now come back for version 1.0 on Steam Deck is actually pretty cool. And I think they've added in like new armor sets as well, and you can relocate your castle, so you don't have to like, every time you move to a new zone, you don't have to like craft a new castle from scratch, which is really nice. And they've added in trophies and support, and they've added in like mastery system and shape shifting, new cosmetics, and then they had a massive update called the Secrets of Gloomrock, and that added in like 13 new bosses and revamped world map and all that, and that was free. So this game's had a lot of like post-release content from early access into version 1, and it's all been free. So I'm curious to see if they do like paid expansions in the future or anything like that. But so far my initial half an hour start into this game was really, really positive, and I've enjoyed every this first opening salvo into the new version 1.0. And if you're enjoying this, if you've been playing V Rising since the beginning, let me know what you've thought of the changes that have come and gone, and whether they've all been good or bad, or if there's things you'd like to change. Because coming in as a newbie, I don't really know how much has changed, or if the game, like the devs have been really onto it or not. But I've really enjoyed like this opening, and the aesthetic's really nice too. Just the foresty area at the start here is really nice. And I know looking online, they've got lots of different zones too. So it's not always going to be a foresty wooded zone, but it's nice. And so yeah, this is my first impressions on Steam Deck. It runs really well. The only thing is you need to be on GE Proton for the video to work. You probably don't need it if you're not worried about that stuff. You could just play it on normal. I just did that because I'm a haggler for everything to work out of the box. If it's not working, then I don't want to know about it, So what we've got here is, just to finish off the video, just me assaulting my first bandit camp here. Getting in here, killing some bloody bandits. Hits, and I do not recommend feeding on them while there's still a lot of them alive, as you can actually still take damage from their bolts. So something to keep in mind here. And so yeah, don't feed on them like I am here, because it's not actually healing you. It's filling up their blood, your blood level, but that's not actually healing you. Like, you've actually got to use your blood rend ability to heal. So I've got to stop, I've figured it out before the second to last enemy, but we got there in the end. So enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
My blood, restore my body.